So, Joely, welcome to FrightFest Glasgow.
Thank you.
We're really pleased to have the world premiere of, Little Bone Lodge.
Thanks for having the world premiere of Little Bone Lodge.
I'm a massive fan of yours, I have to tell you.
Thank you.
Mainly because of you do very few genre films, but when you do
I feel
them,
like I'm always doing films.
Well,
like
I mean,
the weirdest, patchiest career of a bit of everything. But anyway.
but I mean, and so why did you choose this one? I mean, I know the backstory about how they wrote the film. So when did you actually come into the frame?
God, I think at the 11th hour in a way, because they'd offered it to me a couple of times and I thought there was something really interesting in it. But with all these things, it's all on a wing and a prayer. I'd done this film, Colour Out of Space, with Nick Cage, Richard Stanley. And what was funny about that film is that it was horror, famously, but it was really, really fun to make. We made it in Portugal, and it was just a really good experience. And me and the other actors were all saying, isn't it funny how who knew horror would be such fun? But with Little Bone Lodge, there were, Mama, the character I play, she's a great, awful character, if that makes sense. But, there are just so many unknowns. So I did hesitate with the grimness of it all. I feel that's appropriate place to say quite how grim it is. So I hesitated, but then I can't remember at the 11th hour. Actually, it was my agent standing over there. They for some reason wanted me to do it, and then I was like, okay, let's just give it a go and hope for the best.
Were you familiar with Matthias's work at all before? Had
Not
you seen
really.
it? Okay.
No.
So literally it was just faith.
Yeah, I thought Neil had written a potentially very good script, but there are so many changes, the producers and all of that. So it's a leap of faith. But I realised doing Colour Out of Space what a massive audience there was, and that when it's right, there've been some other offers along the way. When it's right, it's really good. But of course, you never know that those are the intangibles.
Because Matthias was saying that he wanted you specifically.
I know he said that, but I don't think that's a compliment.
Mainly
I think that, yeah. He very sweetly he did seem to want me so much that every time I said no, he'd just come back. So, I really admired his resilience, and then I thought, well, maybe, he has a vision, and, I just go back to, she was interesting enough character to think, okay.
Because you really sell it, that sort of like steely edge that she has to have. But no, seriously, I mean it.
Well, I mean, she's a monster, but not giving the story away, I hope.
But I mean, were there particular scenes that you relished doing? I mean, anything particular you can remember? No?
Well, I loved working with Sadie, who plays my daughter in it, and I loved working actually with Harry Cadbury. If you've seen the film, you know the specificity of that relationship. The cast were great, and because we were a bit under the gun, given, quite how low budget it was, you really rely on the other actors that you all sort of find and form it together, and we all got on great. So that was a real strength.
I have to say, I'm a massive fan of The Blacklist, and your role in that was
funny
one
enough,
of my
I
absolute
just
favourites.
literally come from The Blacklist. Because, I did some revisits with The Blacklist, and I'd literally come back from doing another ep of that, and they brought the filming forward, so it was suddenly immediate.
I can't believe it.
That's
you really made
really
a fan
I
massively
really
pleased.
enjoyed my time on The Blacklist. Yeah.
Final season.
Yeah,
dreadful.
I know.
Anyway, listen, I won't go on about that, but listen, thank you
Okay.
so much for coming for us
My
today.
absolute pleasure.
And, we know the audience is really going to go for it because Matthias has got a fan club here because we've shown
Great.
a lot of his films
Okay.
beforehand. So, thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Joely Richardson, everybody.
Thank you.